Hello guys and welcome back to Aquatic Life and Theme Parks, and in this episode of how to start a fish tank I'm going to be talking about everything that you need to know when it comes to filters. I'm going to be talking about why filters are important and what are their purposes. So let's start off with the basic knowledge that you will need to know. The basic information and knowledge is that you need to know the difference between internal and external filters. Internal filters are filters that you can put into your aquarium. The aquarium behind me, the Amazon tank, has an internal filter. External filters come in a canister form and are actually a little bit more expensive than internal filters. Internal filters are actually probably the best for beginners, as they do not need as much work as obviously external filters. With external filters, they do actually have a pipe that runs up the back of the aquarium. Now, what is the filter's purpose? The filter's purpose is to obviously create oxygen in the aquarium to make sure that your fish can actually breathe. But another purpose and another major factor when it comes to filters is that it hosts and makes sure that the beneficial bacteria lives and grows, but more on that later. If you're a beginner coming into the aquarium hobby, you may stumble across 3 different methods of filtration. Now, this can be quite overwhelming, so in this section of the video I am going to be sort of trying to break down the 3 methods of filtration in the simplest way, and I hope this does help. For any of that, the first thing you need to know is what is filter media. Filter media is pretty much a giant sponge in your aquarium filter. It absorbs all of the waste, the dirt, the debris in your water column, making your water crystal clear. Now, obviously, it is important to have these in your filter, as of course these will make sure that your water and your water column is crystal clear. First out of the 3 methods of filtration is mechanical filtration. Mechanical filtration will actually pick up large amounts of wasted particles like dirt and debris and physically trap them in their obviously chamber. Now, for this video I'm going to be using the Fluval Underwater series filters that I've owned for quite a while now, and I've used that for this video. This video isn't sponsored by Fluval, it's just what I use. So in that filter, the mechanical filtration method is located in the 1st and 3rd chamber, and that is what physically traps obviously the large amounts of waste products like dirt and debris floating around in your water column. Chemical filtration is the 2nd method of filtration that you could find in your aquarium filter. This filtration method removes any harmful toxins that us humans cannot see with a naked eye. This includes ammonia and nitrate, and of course this is important obviously to make sure that your fish's water is safe and for them to live in. Third and final method of filtration is biological filtration. This is where beneficial bacteria in your aquarium lives, and it's able to convert the ammonia into nitrate, but more on that later. Of course, in that last clip you saw, I did mention something called beneficial bacteria. Now, beneficial bacteria is the building blocks of your aquarium and actually, helps your aquarium stay stable. With all of these harmful toxins like ammonia, nitrate and nitrate floating around in your aquarium, you want to make sure that your fish are happy and healthy and are staying safe in your aquarium. And that's where beneficial bacteria comes in. Now, beneficial bacteria lives and grows, as I said earlier, in the biological media in your filter. And how you start this off when you first put this into your aquarium, because beneficial bacteria is not on the filter yet, it goes through a natural process called the nitrogen cycle. And the diagram that I have made and I'm about to show you now will explain just that. The diagram that I have created here is showing you the nitrogen cycle and each of the processes that it goes through. So it first starts off with the fish, that's, for example, the neon tetra, and the neon tetra pretty much produces waste. This then is known as ammonia. Now, the beneficial bacteria converts ammonia into nitrate, and ammonia and nitrate are toxic to fish, so if any sort of levels start creeping up when you're testing your water, make sure you're dealing with that pretty quickly. The beneficial bacteria then converts nitrate into nitrate, which is not as harmful as nitrate and ammonia, and this is actually beneficial for plants. Now, the way the nitrate gets taken out of your water is by you doing water changes, and actually the plants they do actually absorb nitrate, and that's what's keeping your levels low. If any of these levels are spiking rapidly, randomly, when the aquarium is established, that means that there's something wrong with the nitrogen cycle, and the nitrogen cycle has not actually been processed properly. Spoken about the basic information, we've spoken about the nitrogen cycle, and I've told you the three different methods of filtration. The next thing that I'm going to be filming is the demonstration on how to set up an actual filter. It's just for any beginners out there. If you haven't set up a filter before, and you probably haven't, it's just to let you know, where to position it, what to actually do with it, and where to position it. The three main things that you should consider for positioning it in the aquarium, and obviously how to actually operate it. Okay, so the demonstration that I'm going to be showing you now is actually when you get your filter, what to do with it. So here I have just a bucket of water and the one of the fluval underwater filters that I used in the past. So the first stage you want to do is actually think about the positioning of the filter. The three main things that I think of is actually the space. So if you're going to put the hardscape or decorations in, you're going to want to make sure that the filter has enough space to obviously operate. The second thing I think about is flow. If I'm positioning it in the aquarium, I want to make sure that I have a nice flow rate to make sure that my fish are getting plenty of oxygen. And obviously the third thing that I think about, and the most important thing, is access. You obviously need to access your filter to make sure that you can do the essential work on it and the essential maintenance, but that will be covered in a later video coming up on the series. So the second stage is to actually put it in the water. If you see these bars here, especially for the underwater series by Fluval, they need to be fully submerged into the aquarium. If they are not fully submerged, you will start to hear sort of a washing machine sound and sort of like a really start pushing out air bubbles. And you do not want that, especially if it's in like your living room or your bedroom. You do not want that, because you will be up for hours upon end trying to fix it. Trust me, it's happened to me in the past. So make sure that those are fully submerged. Then you just, another thing that people are sort of worried about sometimes is the wires. The wires, they are waterproof, obviously not the plug socket or none of these wires here. But if you see, these wires here are, attached to the filter and actually do run down into the water. I don't know if all of the wire is waterproof, but obviously make sure that you're not putting the whole of the wire into the water just to be on the safe side. Now, once you have obviously filled the aquarium up, don't just put it in and actually just turn it on. You will get something called a burnt motor. If the motor burns out and runs out, it will just stop working completely, and it will be a waste of money, obviously, and then you'll have to buy a new filter. So once it is filled up all the way to the top, you just grab your plug socket and find the nearest plug. So that could be an extension lead, a normal, house plug, and you just plug it in, switch it on, and as you can see, it is moving water, just as you can see, obviously. Now, if I lift it out of the water, it will prove that it works, and you can actually hear that sort of washing machine sound. It's really, really loud and noisy. So just making sure that, obviously, that they're fully submerged, and obviously think about the different things that I just said, and you are all good. But it is simple as that, setting up, obviously, a internal filter. An external filter might take a little bit more work, and I haven't got an external filter on me. So I'm sure if you go into YouTube or whatever social media platform you use and type in how to set up an external filter for aquariums, a video will obviously pop up. There's probably tons of them online. Here we go. All of the essential information you need to know when it comes to setting up a filter, and why is it important and what is its purpose. I hope this video helped anyone that is getting into the aquarium hobby. This is what this series is meant for, so I really do hope it does help. But apart from that, stay aquatic everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.